Today, I'm honored to be with a top charting Billboard producer. The man I'm with today has dominated the top of the Billboard charts with some of the greatest artists across different genres. He built up his name by establishing his sound and took over with undeniable lead singles from the likes of Ja Rule, Shine, 50 Cent, and G Unit. And today, I want to welcome a producer that you have more than likely heard of. You have probably played some of his music in your whip or danced to it in the club. You might know him from street radio, or you might know him as Jimi Kendrix. Either way, it's my honor to welcome him to the show today.
Oh, damn, Mike, you serious? That's for real. That was dope, bro. Really dope. Really appreciate that. So thanks for the intro, superstar. It's an honor. It's an honor to be on the show.
Yeah, man, it's great to have you on the show today. First, I just want, you to explain like where you come from. Can you tell me about growing up in Queens? Like what was your experience like and what part of Queens were you actually from?
Born and raised Hollis, Queens, New York. Lived in Far Rockaway, and then they got a little too gangster, I guess you want to say, at the time. So my mom was like, "Yo, we flying off the buses with people shooting back and forth between each other. It's time to move." So went from Far Rockaway to Jamaica, Queens, Hollis, and that was like the beginning of that young love of music, growing, learning, and Hollis, Queens showed me a lot. It taught me a lot, you know.
Yeah, I
Um,
got love for Far Rock, man.
yeah,
Rest in peace to Stack Bundles. Salute my guy Keen Streets.
that's what's up. I worked with both of them. Dope people, Chinks, Stacks. Being from Far Rock, it's not really well, they call it the sixth borough. So also we're also known for having a lot of that come from there and put in a lot of work. So the name was not always, it was notorious, but not always for something good. But the musicians and the artists that we did have there, they were undeniable. Stacks and Chinks and very the Riot Squad, but there was not too many, you know, um, producers that I know of that were from that area. So when people say where I'm from, I say I'm from Hollis, but I was born in Far Rockaway. So I'll never uh, forget where I'm from. That's where I always where I was born. That's where I always will continue to get back to. Which even I'll tell you about later what I'm doing in that area, in that community. I'll talk to
You
you later about that one.
you actually got the chance to work with Stack Bundles?
Yes, we got a chance to um, get in the studio, work on some new records. My boy Jesse from Street Radio. Also, but the only thing I regret is that we didn't really get a chance to work for a long amount of time. Because by the time we got a chance to work with him, he had got killed. So it was like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like, you wish, woulda, shoulda, coulda. You know what I mean? It was one of those type of feelings. The Chinks came out of jail. He was in the studio with us. Went right to the studio, and we were working on records right away. So that to me was like, okay, cool. I get a chance to really work with someone and then see them blow and get there, and only to end the way it is, that they did. It's kind of messed up, kind of fucked up. That pardon me, I don't know if I can curse, so feel free to bleep out my words sometime. You know, but it's kind of crazy that they had so much potential, and yet it was like the luck was just horrible. You know what I mean? One, two, it's just like damn, like we couldn't get a break. So rest in peace to Stack and Chinks.
Yeah,
Definite legends.
rest in peace.
Definite legends.
Yeah, Chinks actually credited me with going to Far Rock and shooting his first music video.
What?
Yep.
That's dope.
Yep.
That's dope. Okay, so your background is also in film.
I had done a few videos back in the day, so when Chinks hit me up, he was telling me, "Yo, I just got out of jail. I really need to get going on the blogging tip." So I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna go out and work with Chinks." Then, as you said, he got the situation with French Montana. He got all the records on radio, which was crazy. Now, when you was locked in with Stack, what type of guy did you get to know Stack as being? Whether you guys were in there for that long, or what type of person did he come off as to you?
Well, I mean, Stacks, they was from the neighborhood, so like he was always just a good dude. He was a fly guy. You know what I mean? The girls liked him. He was always flashy. Whatever you knew him to be on TV and on videos, that's how he was at home. You know what I mean? He was loved. He was embraced, and we knew something was gonna happen. He was gonna make it. You know what I mean? And for the most part, he got there. He got the notoriety. There are records that I've heard other artists do that they don't credit him for that. We know he did. You know what I mean? We know he was involved with writing those records. So he was a dope artist, a dope writer. His brand was coming together, and people embraced him, which is why I can see why when he made it in the industry, people were like, yeah, they believe. He was a great storyteller, amazing storyteller. He can tell a story on the record and have you took you for a ride. So artists like that you don't find today. You know what I mean? The Kendrick Lamars and people like that. So it's tough today compared to back then. People don't know what real lyricism was, and being witty and just being able to put it all together. The artist with the product, with the music, with the vision, with it's a lost art. A&Rs are not who they are anymore. So that's where today's artist is missing out.
Yeah, with the A&R. Yeah, facts. That's one of the first ways that I came into the game, because back in the day, 2009, you wanted to join a record label. Now it's all about podcasting. So me doing interviews kind of went hand in hand with that.
That is so true. The brand did I guess you could say like the way that people saw things before compared to now, or actually being back in that time and then seeing how it's evolved. Back in the day, social media wasn't really podcasts. That shit was we didn't give a shit about that. We were living in the moment. You know what I mean? In those moments.
Facts.
And
Yeah.
now it's like everything now is about content. Imagine if those cameras were rolling and podcasts and social media was really back then. The type of stuff they would have saw, crazy.
It was about peace of mind back then.
Yes. Artists had, you hear about artists. You didn't necessarily see them, but you heard about them. Wu-Tang, this and this, Bad Boy, Jadakiss and Locks. And you heard them before you saw them. Now, you see everything before you just about hear it. So it's just different. It's a different game compared to how it was then. So that's dope. Let me ask you a question.
What's up?
How'd you get that name, the superstar? Mikey T,
Oh,
superstar.
Mikey T, the movie star. My brother's actually a director, right? My
Okay.
brother's been like directing movies since he was like a kid. He'd get all the kids from the neighborhood to come and film movies. Like he'd paint them up in face paint to play zombies, or
What?
you know what I mean?
He took it there.
He
Oh,
filmed
that's
his own
fire.
version of The Stand, and
That's
then
fire, bro.
he went on to become an actual director. He dropped a movie called Slapface in 2022. And
Nice.
but back in the day, in like 2009, when I was making my MySpace, I was just like Mikey T, Mikey T, Mikey T, the movie star. Okay, and it was kind of corny. You know what I mean? People would be
Yeah.
like, "Yo, it's kind of corny" or whatever. But that's why I had to make people believe in it. So I got every
Right.
major rapper that you could believe saying, "Shout out Mikey T, the movie star," from AZ to Rick Ross
That's
to,
my boy.
you know what I
Easy.
mean? All the dopest rappers that I would link up with back in the day, you know what I mean? And I kinda made the name credible, you know what I mean?
Nice. Nice. That's dope. That's really dope. Did you feel like you could fill the shoes of that name in the beginning?
I was like, "I've gotta make myself able to fill the shoes of that name or else people are gonna think it's coming off as corny," you know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
yeah, now I made the name work, you know what I mean?
Nice. Nice.
But I
That's
wanna ask
dope.
you a question. So at one point, Jimi Kendrix was the milkman?
Not the milkman. Well, what happened was this was during the time when Jay-Z was recording Blueprint 2 album.
Right.
Somehow I got a CD over to Hove through my uncle, Big Chuck, who is the drama family. He's that guy. There's nobody in the industry that don't know Big Chuck. Michael Jackson, uh, New Edition, Dr. Dre. He held down Dr. Dre. He held down Eminem. He's that guy from New York that lived in LA. So I call him Uncle Chuck. I get him a CD. He does whatever he do. And I'm helping my boy, Ro, who hoists milk down into the delis in the city. So back then, the two-way pages were like, little side ones, little colored ones. And I'm helping him with the milk, and I keep getting the page. Who is this? Who is this? Come to Baseline Studios. Come to Baseline Studios. I'm like, who the fuck? First of all, where's Baseline Studios? What is that? And then, so I'm like, whatever. Then I get another call from my uncle Chuck. He's like, yo, did you get a page from someone? I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I just got this shit. Whoever this they calling the wrong fucking pager. He's like, no, that's Jay-Z. He's trying to get you to come down to the studio. And it was like, what? Like, whole text me. I need you to come down to the studio. SC. I didn't understand SC was Sean Carter, you know. So I'm like, oh God, yo, Ro, I tell my boy, I gotta dump you. I gotta skedaddle. So you have to hoist this milk by yourself. I love you, I appreciate it, but I gotta go. And I get up out of there. I go to Baseline Studios. I'm I'm so new to this industry shit. I really don't know much about the industry in the sense of how to carry yourself. I make music. You know what I mean? I don't know what it's to be all up in the clubs and popping. I don't give a shit about that. So I get there. I'm like, hey, I'm here to see Jay Z. This is how regular clueless I was to what was going on. I'm here to see Jay Z. Big old Samoan dude is like ready to grab me up. He's like, this dude is crazy. Ready to grab me up and because he was humongous,
I've been there. I've been there.
humongous. And the person that saves me is Jay Z. He's like, nah, he's with me. And I'm like, I'm standing there like, that's Jay Z. And he's looking at me like, let's get to it. You know what I mean? And I was just like, wow. And from there, life just began to change. Getting the chance to work with him, getting the chance to be in the studio with him, and experience what it is to be or what it is to make a record. The way that he was doing it, it was mind-boggling. No lyrics. You just sit there and write it up in your head and then print it. It was amazing, amazing experience to see. Someone as big as he was at that time want me in the studio with him when he really could have just recorded the record himself and sent it to me. And I'd have been just as happy. But for him to allow me to be there during the process was amazing. It was something I will forever take with me as, when they say, when you walk into a room, command the room. Well, when you go into a room and you're the producer, You're supposed to command that room. You're supposed to make people know you belong in that room. And it really felt good to be side by side and see what my work or whatever I was doing um, could where it could reach. It was amazing. Shit was amazing. A kid from Queens from Hollis. Nah, it- those moments don't always come, but I'll forever remember that. And there was a lot of politics going on because the record I did was had Frank Sinatra in it.
Right. That's what I wanted to ask you. I did it my way. It was featured on Jay-Z's The Blueprint 2 album. Did you
Yes,
come to Jay-Z with the Frank Sinatra laced on the beat?
yes. And that's the crazy thing about it. Uh, that's why I say it's important for producers to be producers. Don't try to yeah, tailor records for certain artists, but do what you do. Do it your way. And when I gave him the record, I gave it to him exactly as he took it. And when he realized it was Frank Sinatra, he was like, Jay was like, no, the labels were like, oh my God, it's Frank Sinatra. There's gonna be a whole bunch of issues going on. Frank Sinatra's people were like, what's up? But Jay was like, I want it just like it was. I don't want you popping out the sample. If we gotta do it and deal with Frank Sinatra's people, we're gonna do that. So I didn't think that was gonna be possible because that's Blue Eyes. So, but being Jay-Z and Def Jam and got it done, of course, a lot of the publishing or the percentage came out of my area, which went to Frank Sinatra. So I took less, but I felt like I gained more at the same time because that record really, like, it wasn't really the big single, but it was one of those records that people always remember. That Frank Sinatra in that record and what he was saying. You know, hey, people waiting for me at the airport like I'm a Beatle or something. That's literally because that very night he was leaving to go to Japan. So there was a time schedule on getting that record done before he flew out overseas. So it was good that I was able to get there. We did the record, and, and he actually put that on the record. There's people waiting for me over in Japan thinking I'm a Beatle or something. And it was like right there we were living in the moment, literally, because that was exactly what was going on. It wasn't like it was planned. They believe it was really that's how the records were being done back then. So to me, that's definitely one of my favorite records and one of my first records. So I
Yeah.
was lucky. If nothing else happened after that, I was happy.
The Blueprint 2, The Gift and the Curse debuts at the top of the Billboard 200 with first week sales of 545,000, man.
Wow.
Gold in a week. How was that for a kid from Hollis to have a memorable track on an album that was on top of the charts?
Um, I don't know. I mean, even now, I can't really say it was the best moment of my life because I'll be honest with you, it really wasn't. At that moment or in music, it was definitely one of my, you stick a flag into it moments where it's like, okay, I've arrived. But it still wasn't that moment where I felt like I really made it. That big radio record was still like, it was like, man, okay, my first one is Jay-Z. Woo! What the hell am I gonna do more? Like, how am I gonna beat that? How? Oh shit! That means I gotta go to radio. I need a radio hit. I gotta be on the radio. Being in the Blueprint 2 for me, that was monumental because if you look at the roster of producers, I was one of the only unknown guys on that roster of producers. Everyone else, I'm just stunned. I'm just stunned having seeing my name next to all these producers like Jesus, have mercy. How'd I get here? But it was only because of God. It was really only because of God, to be honest with you. So that's a pinnacle moment, but it wasn't my most defining moment for me, for music wise.
So was there any talks of signing with Rockefeller, or did you guys have any other records that never released?
Well, actually, after that situation, and I'll tell you how playing chess is good because I'm just telling you little stories that people didn't know about. With that record, there was a lot of back and forth. And my lawyers was like, no, no, you're not going to take the record. I'm telling them, yes, we are going to give them that record. And I'm going to take whatever less out of the bunch. Of all these people here, I'm the one that, I'm the least most important, I guess, of those. But yet, but important because it was my record that got all of these people together to get on this album. If I didn't think about Frank Sinatra, I paid $5 for this little CD where they got the Tower Records in Times Squares, the old one, and a little basket. I pull out a CD, it's a $5 CD. And I turned that into a Jay-Z record.
$5 CD into appearing on
$4.99.
500,000 album first week.
Come on, man.
This is like we were talking about. This is when people lined up to buy albums at the store, not just, a billion streams equaling out to a gold album.
I come from a time where these equate to album sales, not streams. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a different time. You know what I mean? I came at a good time.
And then they took a while to figure it out, so some albums did suffer. Some albums that you were a part of, like Terminate on Sight, for instance.
Yes,
But
yes. That
now
was a lot of politics too with the label. And 50 wanted to get off the label, so he gave them, give them an album or a mixtape or whatever you want to call it, EP, whatever. And had he really wanted to make some of it, it could have went a lot harder. But that was totally unexpected as well. So going from Ja to 50, so people still ask me about that. How the fuck did you do that, bro?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I'll tell you later.
Well, I mean, you did the lead single for the TOS album,